Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Everton Fan TV channel. Today we've got Richard on. Thank you very much, Richard, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. Good to be back again.
Good. Today we're going to be looking at a summer preview for Everton and what we need in the summer. Obviously, over the past week we've had lots and lots of links. We've just talked about them then. There's plenty to go through today. So we'll start it off with the one that's been the main topic for Everton in the past few days, for Everton fans. Coutinho to Everton, obviously former Liverpool player. And there's some are mixed with it because he's former Liverpool, but some are on the other end because obviously he's a fairly decent player. So what do you make of it, Richard?
Well, in terms of whether this can happen, I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think, besides the obvious extra pro connection, I don't think really that makes a jot in these situations. But, I mean, Coutinho coming into Everton, where does he fit in? You know, you're basically going to move out James Rodriguez, aren't you, essentially? I know a lot of us will see the back of this guy, but Gylfi Sigurdsson probably will think that his prospects are going to be limited. Personally, I think Sigurdsson should probably be moved on in the summer, but and the bias for him could be quite tricky. He's not the most consistent player, but is Coutinho the answer? I'd say no, especially when you look at what's going to cost. 40 million wage, 40 million transfer fee, probably 100 odd grand a week wages. I mean, Everton got James Rodriguez on a free transfer last summer. Forget about the financial situation for him weekly. You got one of the world's best playmakers for a free. Whatever you look at it, that is an absolute bargain. So, and okay, yeah, Rodriguez has had problems with injuries, but Coutinho's had a lot worse. Trust me. And I as someone who supports Barcelona, who watches Barcelona, I don't think Coutinho's going to be an upgrade on Rodriguez. Probably, if anything, he'll probably be more injury hits. I think he's not, and also as well, when Coutinho, and this might just be coincidence, when he was in his end game at Liverpool, miraculously he suffered a back problem. And I've got to say, first time's unlucky, to be sidelined for 3 weeks with a back problem is bad enough. It can happen. But then to be sidelined with a back problem, when the transfer window reopened in January, and then within a couple of days ended up sealing a move to Barcelona, that just seems very, very, very coincidental for me. So I do feel like there'll be a degree of that with Coutinho. Similar, I think, probably if Everton had signed Luis Suarez, which we know was never going to happen. We know where he ended up and where he was going. But had Everton signed Luis Suarez, he would have been looking at how can I get my next move up? And, that's the thing that you need to worry about with players like Coutinho. Is he's already had the big moves, and look at even over. Rodriguez has been unlucky with injuries. He knows he's fallen out of favour at Real Madrid. He knows Carlo Ancelotti. There's a pre-existing relationship there, so he knows what's expected of him and who can get the best out of him. Coutinho's got none of that. The only connection he's got is the local area. So do you really want to be having someone like that coming into the team who's going to be essentially doing, looking for the next big move? I know a lot of players do, and they've used Everton as a stepping stone. I mean, you look at Lukaku, you look at Arteta to a lesser extent. Players move on. That's undeniable. But I think when you've got players who are actively looking for an out, which I think Coutinho would be, I don't think that's a good recipe for having at a football club, especially one at Everton, because everyone needs to know the players. Everyone needs to know, but they're not on a higher level than everyone else. I don't think Coutinho's the option. And also, okay, yeah, he did prove shots from outside the box, but beyond that, is he really offering that much more than James Rodriguez? I don't think so, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's not much more special than James. I think he's, like you said, he's injury prone. Obviously, he's had lots and lots of injuries, more than James, and I just don't really think it's the player we need. Like, if we're going to prioritize anyone, we're going to spend 40 mil on him. I mean, I don't really think it's what we need to be looking for. Moving on to the next one, we've got another update from Fabrizio Romano on Max Aarons. Says Everton are leading the race to sign Max Aarons this summer. Cost around £30 million. Despite Daniel Farke denying this, saying that Everton are not in advance talks to sign Max Aarons. What do you make of Max Aarons?
I like the look of him, and to be honest, it wasn't that long ago that he was on the base of a move to Barcelona. That was supposed to be happening, but it was between him and Serginho Dest from Ajax, and both, Bayern Munich were tracking both of them, and Barcelona won the race for Dest, and I'd say he's done quite well for them. But Aarons is clearly a talented player. I mean, the issue you have is, does he end up in the situation that Ben Godfrey is, where he looks at it and thinks, well, this could be another yo-yo season. You know, we could be going up as quick as we come back down. Do I want to be, you know, taking the next step up to a club like Everton, working with a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, who brings the best out of players, who knows how to you know, attain to the highest levels. And you've got to say, Ben Godfrey is. I mean, I only saw bits of him when he was at Norwich before Everton. That lad has come on leaps and bounds since he's been at Everton. Maybe we notice it more because he's in the Premier League, because you know we watch Everton quite regularly. But he's come on leaps and bounds, and for me, he should be in that England team for the Euros personally. So,
100%.
you know, I think if you get him in, I mean, it's difficult because you know Seamus Coleman has been in the news a lot this week, hasn't he? You know, Ancelotti said he's got a contract for life. You know, Ancelotti was absolutely hailing him basically in the press conference earlier today. Funny enough, I actually saw Seamus Coleman crossing the road before.
Really?
Was, yeah, he was crossing the road not far from where I live in Walton. So he was crossing the road with a little girl and had a cup of coffee in his hand. And yeah, so that's by the by. But no, I mean, Coleman's a great player. He's been a great servant for Everton. And, you know, 60 grand a week, 60 grand the transfer fee has been an absolute bargain. But easily one of the best signings in elite level football, bar none. I know we said Rodriguez on a free is a great business, but £60 for a fullback who's been in the Premier League for the best part of 12 years now.
Yeah,
that's incredible. So, I mean, I feel like this is a bit of a change in the guard, similar to when Luca Dini come in. Another Barcelona connection, obviously. I'm sorry about this, but you know, it seems to be a lot of it today. But no, I think there was a little bit of a passion at the bottom, wasn't there, between Baines and Luca Dini? Luca Dean, sorry. So, you know, with Dean coming in, Baines, the transition was quite seamless. Maybe there's going to be something with this with Aaron coming in and Coleman, who's now 32. You know, maybe like you know, I mean, I'm sure Dean's learned a few things off Leighton Baines in the 2 years he was with him, and I can imagine Seamus Coleman's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's be clear about that. And I think the manager's comments back that up. So if Max Aaron can learn something off Seamus Coleman and become Everton's right back for the next 10 years, as Coleman was, okay, the fee's a lot higher, but I think he looks a good fit. And obviously, having Ben Godfrey alongside him, whether as a centre back or you know, as an auxiliary fullback, I think that will help. And I think having that familiarity in the team will help. I mean, I've got to say, I think he's obviously done well with Norwich, and coming back up, I think it's not in no small part to him. So I think they're going to command the high fee because they're going to be Premier League again. I think, you know, Godfrey for the price he was early, you know, 23 million. Absolute bargain when you consider it. But that's the gulf between a Championship team and a Premier League team. Whereas you look at, I mean, we mentioned him before, but Sigurdsson went for 40 million. He left the Premier League club. Now that's a thing. Someone was talking to me about this before, but before the social media boycott kicked in, and we were talking about like the transfer fees. Now in the Premier League, going from club to club in the top flight, you're talking, you know, 8-figure sums. You look like Italy, it's all like loan deals on the Never Never, and you know, like buttons here and there. But like, when you go down to the Championship, you know, the market's still quite high. But I think it's just unfortunate that Norwich are coming up because he's going to be hot on the man, as you say, buying it, looking at them. Other teams will be looking at them, other big teams. And if Everton have shown a march on them, I think you've got to pay the first million. I don't always agree with going to the, you know, the top fee that a club commands, but I think in this situation, for what he is, for what he offers, not just in the interim, but also for the next 10 years or so, why wouldn't you sign him? I think he'd be a great signing for Everton personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think for the long run, I think he's the right back we need. If you've watched him play, not just his defending, but his dribbling, his attacking, he's the perfect modern day fullback. His dribbling is unbelievable. If you've seen it, it's unreal. I think, like you said, with the partnership with Ben Godfrey, he's played with them a lot, not just Norwich with England under 21s. And I think that, like you said, having that familiarity is ideal. And like with Coleman as well, Coleman will be a massive help for Aaron's, and in the long term, I think he's the perfect solution for us. Moving on to the next one, we've got Demiral. I'm not sure where this is coming from, but I'm not sure centre backs are a place where we need to be improving at the minute.
I mean, possibly. I mean, it's. I've got to be honest. I'm with you on this one. I don't really know where this one's come from. To be honest, it seems a very strange one. And judge. I mean, you know, you can't really judge people on what they say on social media, really, in terms of, you know. I mean, look at social media, people say Thiago Alcantara is like the best player in the world, and we know he's clearly got flaws. But I mean, it's interesting how the Juventus fans are saying, since he's had his injury, he's lost a bit of the raw attributes he has. And if he's going, let him go for 45, 50 million euros. And you're thinking, you want rid of this player, but you want top dollar for him. So, is he a good player, or is he just one you want to cash in on? I mean, I find it strange. I'm sort of a bit wary of this one because, as you say, Everton's centre-back situation is quite stable now. Obviously, Keane, Mina, Holgate, although I'm not really personally sold on Holgate when he sometimes he had a few shaky performances, and obviously we mentioned him before, Ben Godfrey. So it's a little bit better stock than it probably has been in recent years. The only issue is, if you take out, if you bring in this Demiral, then who goes out? Yerry Mina, who I think is not flawless by any means, but you watch the game behind closed doors. You watch when a ball comes into the air, Mina screaming for it, he's shouting his name and running towards it and getting the first header. Michael Keane, I think, he's had his flaws. He had that horrific 2 goals he gifted Spurs the other week, but I think he's improved massively. Especially, he's probably since the lockdown last year, he was Everton's form player up until a few weeks ago. So, would you sacrifice Michael Keane? I wouldn't personally.
No,
then you got Ben Godfrey. You got Ben Godfrey as well. Absolute revelation. He's been since he's come in. I mean, I can see him probably.
Also got Bramthwaite coming back on loan.
Exactly. Another one who we all had high hopes for, and unfortunately had that injury earlier in the cup, and then he's been at Blackburn, and you just hope that he'll come back and the injury won't have disrupted his sort of his talent and his momentum. I hope being at Blackburn's worked out for him. I mean, it seems to have worked out for the one across the park, Harvey Elliott. So you got to hope that it has the same sort of galvanising effect. This side of Stanley Park. So Demiral coming in at Everton. If Juventus are in as much financial state as we think they are, based on that Super League plot that they were all these teams had to sign up for because they're all in the hole because of COVID and whatever else. I don't think it's worth the risk. I mean, if it was De Ligt, put it this way, I'd bite the hand off for 50 million. De Ligt isn't. I mean, I saw him at the Nations League 2 years ago. I saw him playing for Holland against England and against Portugal, and I saw him in the open training session. And I was at Braga's training ground, and we were about suspended 30 feet above the training pitches because obviously we're on like a balcony or something. And from the height that we were at, he looked like an absolute unit, and you just thought he's going to cause some problems when they go on the attack here. So I mean, to be honest, I had no Barcelona would sign him, but it never came to pass. But I think if they were offering the lift, you'd take the lift all day long. But it seems like they want crazy money for a player who's not really worth it.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we've got. This is, I'm not sure how entirely true this is, but we've got DCL. Manchester United report only offering 80 mil or something for DCL. Not sure how true this is at all, but I mean, it always seems as if when we get a good player, Man United are all over them.
Yeah, or they get Fellaini.
Yeah.
there's always go one-way traffic. Does seem to be the way though. Sort of United get 11's best players and get United's cast off. Phil Neville, Tom Cleverley, Darren Gibson. It's a bit of a depressing sort of situation because they always seem to be on the stronger end of it. But I mean, I can understand United being in the box seat when they have Mourinho and they post Lukaku. I can understand them being in the box seat to try and post Baines in 2030 when Moyes had just gone and replaced Fergie, and they obviously ended up with playing. He was. I know we joke about it, but he was one of Everton's form players at the time. Would you really want to go to Old Trafford for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Would anyone really want to be brutally honest? You're still looking with Bruno Fernandes. You're still looking at getting Cavani, who's 34. I mean, I'm not even 34, and he's older than me. So,
for DCL as an individual, I think having Ancelotti as his manager has been the biggest rise, the most rapid rise he's had in his entire career. He's come on so much since working with Ancelotti, and I think it would make no sense at all for him to switch now. It would make completely no sense because he's having his best time at Everton with Carlo Ancelotti. but to me it wouldn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it's the multiple ways to this. I mean, it's not just, who's going to work for a European Cup and manager 3 times over, or a fella who got sacked by Cardiff. It's beyond that. Because if Calvert-Lewin goes there, he's going to be behind Cavani, who's a veteran. He's going to be behind Rashford, who can do no wrong. I mean, I saw a report today from ESPN saying that he's not played a game pain-free for 2 years. So, how much physical toll is his body taking through all these, playing through the pain barrier. So I wonder about that. But the problem is then, you look a bit further down the pecking order, Mason Greenwood's meant to be like the next big thing at Old Trafford. They've made off him for years. I mean, I've heard United fans telling me about how he's going to be better than Rashford, better than Rooney even. That sort of level of reverence. And then you've got people like Anthony Martial, who I don't think they're going to be able to shift, 50-odd million on them. And I know they like to sing about it and say, all the critics are crying now, but I don't think he's got. I mean, I remember when he was doing it with Everton. I think he was linked with a move to Everton, wasn't he, before he went to United? And then he was linked again a little while. I think he was actually linked when the Lukaku deal was going through United. He was linked, and I just thought, I don't see what he brings. He's a good player, but he's not really going to elevate. He's not going to come in and just be, a light fighter replacement for someone like Lukaku. So why would Calvert-Lewin go there? Beyond the fact that you're working with an inferior manager, I don't care what the league table says. All you're going to Solskjaer CV does not staff as Carlo Ancelotti, so why would you go there? But also, you're going to have to be fighting with a lot of, your international teammates and prospective international teammates, Greenwood, Rashford. There's going to be competition there, and as well, there's got to be someone who takes the focal point. And unfortunately, Cavani's probably going to have a better standing rather than Calvert-Lewin will. So I think, I don't doubt that Calvert-Lewin, unless Everton do kick on, I don't doubt that Calvert-Lewin will go somewhere a bit higher level. I mean, I know there's going to be players on the move in the next few years. He may be one of them, but for now, why would you jump ship and try and look for, greener grass when there's nothing much better than what you've got right now?
100%. Logically, it wouldn't make any sense, and like you said, it'd be beyond all the players you listed. Looking in the summer, then you can make 3 realistic signings for Everton. Who are you picking?
Max Adams, absolutely 100% first. Ideal signings. See, if I had ideal signings, I'd say one of the players I've picked that already. I like the Ligt. He would have been another one, but obviously, we need to be realistic. That's not gonna happen. But realistically, Max Adams. There's a player I want to say, but I don't know if it'll happen. Ismail Sarr from Watford.
That's a shout.
Because he's one of them players that, to be honest, when there was talk about Decore, great player by the way, absolutely been brilliant for the best part, but he's been available. I think it's a very solid first season, but I do wonder if you had someone like Sarr alongside him in an attacking sense, would that be a game changer? So when we've been seeing these games where Everton aren't can't hit a barn door, or chances are racking up and they're not taking them, would he maybe unlock defences a bit like Rodriguez in that respect? Obviously, different positions, but I think Sarr will be a great signing. I think whoever gets him, because I don't think he'll be at Watford for much longer. I think maybe another 12 months if we're being generous, but I think someone will pounce on him either then, if not sooner. I can see people like Liverpool, like United. I can see them looking at him and thinking he's what we need. I think he'd be brilliant in any team he comes into. Sarr.
Definitely.
Third one, it's tough. I mean, I think the way, based on the way Ancelotti's talked in the press, really, I don't think Josh King's got a future at Everton beyond the scene.
Definitely.
I get the feeling. I mean, I know he's mitigated for age. He had a back issue, and he, tactically, I've been looking for something else, which is why he hasn't got game time. But I mean, I think you've got to get someone in who replaces him, because it's great bringing him in. It obviously gave the squad a bit of depth, but he hasn't really brought anything, really, has he? I mean, I know Ancelotti said a lot of our stance is tactical and a few fitness issues, but I don't think it's really worked out really in Everton's favour. I mean, what's really frustrating is the sort of game where he could have come on and made a difference, or shown what he could do. He was cup side for against Man City.
Yeah,
he could have come on in that game and changed it if he hadn't been ineligible. So I feel like it was good to have a backup in case Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison or any of the other forward players succumb to injury, because we know there was a lot of them earlier in the season. So Everton had to guard against that, and that was good. But I think long term they need to be looking at someone a bit more reliable. So I mean, I don't know who that'd be, but Marcel Brandt's track record with unearthing talents, not just with Everton, but at PSV. He knows the market, he knows players. He's not going to be like Steve Walsh and coming out in a few years' time and telling us he tried to sign Haaland before anyone else tried to sign him, or any of that bollocks. It'll be a bit more. I think Brands is already working on those options. I think he can see as much as the rest of us can. They Everton need some better backup options, irrespective of what happened with likes of Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, obviously the fringe players like Bernard. If there are offers that come in for them, Everton also have a plan to bring in suitable replacements, but also I think you need to have suitable backups to them. Again, the likely event that they are going to stay, because I don't think that many takers for people like Bernard. I think Calvert-Lewin, they'd be mad to accept any offers for him. It's Richarlison and Rodriguez. I think it's been clear that he wants to stay. So I don't know what the identity of this striker would be, but I think there needs to be a decent backup option. He's happy to be a backup option, but more a sort of coming off the bench in the last 15 minutes, because when we've seen King come off the bench, I've not been overly impressed with him personally.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's sort of similar. I think Max Allen's 100%. I think we need a sort of a pacey, tricky winger. Obviously, Richarlison's got it, but I prefer Richarlison up front. I don't know about you, but I just think Richarlison is a better striker rather than a winger. I don't think the only time I've seen him where he's been able to rinse defenders and just skin them with his dribbling is Arsenal. And as far as I can remember, but I think we need a fast, tricky winger, someone like Leon Bailey, or Ismail Sarr, like you said. To the third one, totally agree with you. It's got to be a backup striker, because I think he's half made it clear now. Josh King is not really any use for us. I don't think he's been amazing when he came on, despite only having a few minutes. So that's my three. So we'll wrap it up there. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you very much, Richard, for coming on.
No problem.
Bye. Bye.